don't go and study abroad. Don't go to Canada, don't go to the US, don't go abroad. Just stay where you are. Maybe make a life for yourself in India. That would be my suggestion if you answer no to one of these 4 questions that I'm going to give you. And if your answer is yes, then you know what? You should. You're one of the people who are actually built to go and study abroad and build your life outside. And maybe even come back to India or wherever you're from to build your future. But these are the 4 questions. The first question, do you feel uncomfortable when you're in a group of people and you don't know a single person at the table? If the answer is no, we got to work on it. If your answer is yes, oh yeah, I love learning about new people. If there's someone sitting next to me and they're like a white person of the opposite gender, I don't mind. I love saying, hey, where are you from? What do you do? Then it's amazing. If not, we got to work on that question, and we'll come back to that at the end of the video. But remember that when you go abroad, almost every second person around you is not going to be from India or Thailand or wherever you're from currently and what you're used to. You might be sitting next to your teacher who's a white American person. Your boss might be a German lady. Your friends might be from other countries like Japan. How do you feel when you're around them? Think about it, reflect on that for a second, and we'll come back to it at the end. The second question, can you build a website within 48 hours without knowing how to build a website? What does that question do to you? Does it make you say, no, I cannot? Then there's a challenge and we got to work on it. But if you say, yeah, I know Google and I can search on Google and I can look for some ways of learning it on like a Udemy or a Coursera, I'll figure out a course, and why not? I can build a website. Or I'll learn how to do WordPress and I can build a website. By the way, that's how I built the first version of my company, not even knowing how to code. And today we are a company big enough with 200 people and it runs its own software and its own technology, but I built the first version of it. So are you saying no or yes to that question? And why is that important? When you go abroad, it's not going to be the same as it is when you're in your country today, right? Because you have options, you know where to go and look for the exact job, for the exact program, and you actually have a chance of failing. You could fail and still be okay. But when you're abroad, you want to minimize your chances of failing, which means you have to be flexible enough to say, so what if I've learned something, I've learned X? Why can't I do Y? You should be able to do Y, and it's very, very important. So if your answer is no, this is not how I am, then we got to work on it. Let's come to that also at the end of the video. Till now, if you are a person who said yes to both, great. Now I'll give you the third question that you need to answer. Question number 3, probably out of all my 4 questions, the most important question. Do you wait for the job to come to you or do you go to the job yourself? If the answer is no, I don't go to the job myself, I wait for the job to come to me, which is what a lot of us are used to, then that's a challenge. We got to think about it. Because here's the big secret that no one tells you when you go abroad. When you're in India, especially countries in Asia, the job comes to you. Companies will come to your campus to recruit. There's a career fair. They give you offers on campus. When you go abroad, that's usually not the case. Yeah, companies will come to say hi to you on campus, but they're not going to give you an offer on campus. They're going to expect you to work for it, which means they're going to expect you to connect with them on LinkedIn, to send them emails, to show them interest in the job. You have to go to the job. It's kind of like the cart doesn't come to the horse has to go to the cart. Whatever, right? No, the horse doesn't go to the water, it's not going to drink. The water's never going to come to the horse. However you look at it, but it's a very important question. So have you answered yes or no? Are you saying, what do you mean? No, I have to sit here and I need companies to come look for me because I have all the skill sets in the world. I've done all these amazing things. You might have done the best of things. You might have a patent on your name. You've built the best product, or you've done a lot of other things, or your extracurricular activities. Nobody's going to look at it until you go out there and show it to them. And I've learned this lesson the hard way. When I saw my friends, a lot of them who just came and studied with me, same program, they actually, some of them had better profiles than I did. But today they're back in their own country, trying to do something, find a job, or working somewhere that's probably irrelevant to them. So how did you answer that question? Let me know in your comments. The fourth and the most important question: do you think of yourself as a matchstick? Why? Which means, if I just flick it, does it burst into a flame? Are you that kind of a person, or are you a soggy piece of wood which will take years and years to light up? If the answer is no, I'm not a matchstick, then that's a question that you need to think deeply about. Because if you go abroad, you need to be a self-starter, you need to be a fire starter, you need to be a match. But there's ways to solve it. So now let's come to the solution. So if you answered yes to all these 4 questions, or maybe 3 out of 4 questions, there's a fairly good chance that when you go abroad, you are going to be really successful. You're going to get the job of your dreams, you're going to get the program of your dreams, you're going to have all the friends and everything that you dream of, right? Of course, it's going to need a little bit of work. Nothing in life comes easy, especially when you're going into a new land, new place. It's not easy, but if you've answered yes to these, you can be fully assured, I will put my stamp on it, that you will actually do well. Now, if you answered no to a few questions, how do you resolve it? Especially like, oh my God, I'm not a self-starter. How do you resolve it? You know, the good thing is that you have a lot of help around. And that's where mentors come in, coaches come in, consultants come in. There's a lot of different ways to understand how higher education works outside of your country. There's a lot of easy ways for you to ask the question and get an answer. Like, for instance, what we do at iSchool, we help thousands and thousands of students every year because they've never even heard of schools in the US, but they want to go to the US, right? You want to go there. And is it worth it to spend a year trying to just learn and understand all the different programs and what's available? It's actually not worth your time because it's a one-time exercise. So you better leave it to the experts. Find somebody who's local in your area, who knows a lot about study abroad. Maybe you have friends, maybe you have relatives who've gone abroad. So the answer to that question of, oh my God, can I light this flame quickly? Yeah, you can help yourself. The other questions where, for instance, building a website, oh, he said build a website in 2 days. The answer is no. You can train yourself. It's very important to know that in today's world, everybody has to do everything, right? Like, you know, there was a time when people said, yeah, salespeople do sales, technology people do technology. Today, if you're an accountant, if you're a computer engineer, no matter who you are, you're also a salesperson. You have to be, right? So if you say, no, I cannot do a new job, I only will do what I studied, it's possible to change it, but you have to change yourself first, right? You have to first understand that with all the information that's available for me today that was not available to people 10 years ago, everybody around me learns how to do new things. So if I don't learn it, I will be left behind. So it's learnable, it's doable. The other question about people around you. If you're saying no, there are people around me, and if I don't know them, I feel very anxious to communicate. Just know one thing, that person sitting next to you is also feeling the same way. For me, it's been a world of a change the minute I thought of it that way. I have the best of conversations with whoever I meet, wherever I meet them. I'd be at an airport sitting somewhere in London, and by the time I, get on the plane, 6 people around me would know who I am, what I do, where I live. Why? Because, the one thing that I discovered is I can become the most interesting person in the room if I stick to one topic, India. And I always use that. Everybody is curious about India, and they're curious about wherever you're from. It doesn't matter. You could be from the Philippines, you could be from somewhere else. Find a topic that you're really comfortable with and just use that. It's really a good way to do that. But remember that that's something you'll have to learn. All of these questions that I said to you, building a website, communicating with people around you, being a match, all of these questions are solvable. It's easy to find a way to get there. It may take you 2 months, it may take you 6, it may take you a year, but get to a yes to all 4 of this, and you will be a really successful study abroad applicant. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave some comments. I will respond to you. I'm here to help. That's my job. That's what I love doing as your global survival guide, right? I want to teach you how to survive in the world outside. So I'd be more than happy. But also, please leave your scores down here. If you say, Ashish, yeah, I said yes to all 4, then great, let me know. If you said no to certain questions and you have doubts on how you should solve it, leave your comments. I would love to hear them, and I would love to help you all figure out how to get out there, how to study, and how to make your dreams come true. But after you've done all of that, or even before, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It's what helps me stay motivated to do more of these videos, to help you all out, and to see most of you when I go around the world. When I'm in America, when I'm in London, I want to see my students there. I really love when that happens, and when somebody says, hey, you know, I've been listening to your videos and it's been really helpful. So good luck for everything you're doing, and hope to see you in my next video.